Hey guys, and today this terrified bunny is going to be taking a look at this terrified monster. No, he's not. He's not terrified. He's terrifying. I'm going to have to do that again. Hey you guys, and today this terrified bunny is going to be taking a look at this terrifying monster. Today we're having a look at the NECA Frankenstein Black and White edition. Okay, so I'm going to try something a little different this video, and I want you guys to let me know which style you prefer. This video, I'm actually going to be unboxing this guy on camera. Now, I have opened it. I couldn't wait to play with this guy because he looked amazing. And by play, I was literally going, so, you know, because that's who I am. But I've repackaged him. What I love about these boxes is you can reseal them, no trouble. Like, you know, obviously he hasn't got the cables on, but aside from that, you wouldn't even think that had been opened. So, yeah, I'm actually going to take him out on camera and just let me know which you guys prefer. Do you like seeing me open it, or do you just prefer it when I skip all of this? Because I know some people like it, some people think it's boring and they just want to get onto the review. So, you know, let me know. But yeah, first of all, we'll take a look at the box. So we have... It's quite different from the colour version. I really like it, actually. It's very creepy. You know, I would have thought they'd have done it in like a sort of highlight grey, because, you know, it being black and white, but I still really like this. You can see when you hold it to the light, the box is completely matte, except for the Frankenstein, that's matte, but the Frankenstein writing, and this is very shiny and glossy. So... yeah, really cool. We have warning, the monster is loose. Frankenstein, ultimate Frankenstein's monster. It's the monster, because many people think that he is called Frankenstein. No, Frankenstein's the fella that made him. So on the side, you get this very nice image of the figure, and Universal Monsters, NECA Real Toys, in the title. Same on the other side, but with the other head sculpt. Logo on the top. Legal stuff on the bottom. And on the back, you get this very lovely promotional images of the figure in the various different poses, which honestly look like screen grabs from the film. Like, that's how brilliant this figure looks. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's Boris Karloff. You can't mistake who that is. Not to say he looks like a monster. You know, he's just got a very distinguishable face. Very nice promotional image of the monster here in this gorgeous backdrop. Like, that looks, once again, that looks like it's been pulled straight out from the film. I'd love to make something like that for my display. And then you have the figure displayed quite clearly in the window box, and there's me, hello, and all the various accessories. So let's get him out of the box. Now, someone said, I heard a lot of people say, you should always open NECA boxes from the bottom. I don't know why, but I'm doing it like that now. You know, I don't know, does it damage the box less? Let's see if we can get the backdrop out. There we are. Put that over there. So the backdrop is, sadly, it's one of those really thin ones, so it's not solid. You can display your figure here if you want to, and it's just some more stairs from the castle, but it's nice, I suppose, you know, for a backdrop. So here's our man. He does have those kind of holes that hold him in, so that's really good. Always find it's good to get the legs out first and then just kind of lift him out. There we are. I mean, wow. Just wow. I will admit, actually, the person, well, I got this from Forbidden Planet, so they had the colour version and the black and white version, and it was like, which one do I go with? The black and white version was £5 cheaper, so I was like, yeah, I'm going with that version, because that's just, I'm a tight sod. But no, actually, I will be honest with you guys, the black and white version just, it had something extra to me. but we'll get on to that. So I'll take all of his accessories out. Here. Oh, there we are. Just empty them straight out. And of course his two other head sculpts. There we are, no need for that. So, let's take a look at the man himself, the creature, not Frankenstein, the creature. So, little history. I've never seen the original Frankenstein until a few weeks ago. I sat down and I watched it because this figure looks so nice, it actually inspired me to watch the film. And I thought, I'm going to watch the film. If I like the film, I will get the figure. If I don't, then I'll pass on it, because that's the kind of person I am. I only really buy things that I'm interested in. You know, I don't just buy, I'm not like those collectors who just buy everything. You know, I've never understood that personally, but yeah, sat down, watched it, and I really enjoyed it. And I have to say, it's still quite traumatic, you know, especially when you consider how old it is. It's like 1930? Like, my God. This must have been one of those films that people just never unsee when they've seen it, you know, especially back then. But I just want to say that NECA have done a fantastic job with this figure. Absolutely just brilliant. Now, I've been saying this as I've been reviewing NECA toys on my channel. NECA were one of those companies where their toys look great, but as soon as you take them out the box, just snap, you know, or so bloody loose you can't stand it. This guy, if you were to just hand this to me, like, you know, I didn't see the packaging, I didn't see who made it, I would be like, wow, is this a new toy company? Like, who's made this? Honestly, I mean, I could just look at the legal stuff on the foot, but you know, it's NECA have really upped their game, and I am so pleased to say this is the first NECA figure ever where I've actually had no quality control issues with it. None whatsoever. One of the bolts was a little bit down, but I just kind of bent it back. You know, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. It's perfect, right? It's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's no problem with the joints. All of the joints function. None of them are loose. Like, look at that. Look, it's solid. This is a solid figure. He's got some weight to him, quite some weight. None of the joints, you know, are stiff, are gummy. They're tight, but that's great, you know, because this isn't really a figure that you're going to be moving around much anyway. But they function. That's the good thing, they function. And funnily enough, you know, I was having a chat with the fella at Forbidden Planet, you know, I do always have an anxiety with NECA figures. That's why I always like to look at them before I buy them. And he just straight up said to me, yeah, they're not made to be taken out the box. Literally, he straight up said that to me, and I was just like, yeah. You know, it's like, wow, what a way to put your customers off. I know, but it's still props to him because he's telling the truth, you know. But I'm very pleased to say that that is not the case with this figure. And I think NECA have really set the standard. They've set the bar. It has to stay this way. You know, I've noticed they've been making improvements on their alien figures. You know, they've been giving them the updated leg joints and just everything. They've been getting so much better. So we'll get the articulation out the way. So his head can do a full 360 at the top joint. There are two ball joints. He also has another ball joint at the bottom of his neck that can make the head go up really far and forward to a fair amount. You can also lean it from side to side if you want to, but just be careful of the bolts when you're doing that. You can bring his arms exactly out to 90 degrees, which is brilliant. You also have a full 360, which works with ease. You can bend his arms up further than 90 degrees, and you also have a full 360 at the elbow. You have a full 360 at the hands, as well as forward and back. As you can see, because on the hands, I'll just show you, they have these nice little pegs here, and you just move this forward and down. A good thing to do, guys, is if for whatever reason you can't move this, if it's a bit stiff, take the hand off. Don't try forcing it when it's on the wrist, because you increase the chances of it snapping. Always take the hand off and heat it with a bit of water or a hairdryer if you have to, and then just very gently just prise it like that. Never do it while it's attached, you know, because if it snaps, the peg is stuck in there, so you don't want that to happen. So just a little bit of advice to you. He does have a really good ab crunch, so you can bring him forward quite the ways, actually. Back reasonably far as well. And it's quite sturdy, like it's not going to get loose. You have a full 360 rotation at the waist. The legs can come forward reasonably far, as well as go out slightly. They also have a swivel, so you can rotate them. And like I said, and what I love is they're on those new improved ball peg joints, so, you know, they're not loose, they're not flappy or anything. You have a 90-degree bend at the knee, a full 90-degree bend, which is brilliant. And then lastly, you have a rotation at the foot, so you can rotate it from side to side, and it does go forward and back slightly, but not too much. And one of the things I've noticed is with NECA figures, the older ones, as well as hips, they always have really loose feet, which means you put them down and they either fall forward or backwards. This guy has got very strong feet, very strong. Like, you know, there's no looseness to them at all. And because of their design, because they're so big and flat, you know, this guy is going to stand very, very easily. I have no anxiety of him falling over whatsoever. So we'll just take a look at this amazing, amazing head sculpt. And I think the way that NECA have used the various different shades of grey, because that's all black and white is, you know, it's not black nor is it white. It's all just very, very different shades of grey, because there are so many different shades. And, you know, they've done it so, so well. And even on the face, it's a lighter grey, but you've got a sort of darker grey little wash to really bring out the skin details. And then you've got the highlights, you know, to bring some depth to the face. You have his scar on there, which if you got the colour version would be blood, so it'd be red. You've got the metal plate on his head, which you can just see between his hair. All the hair has been very nicely sculpted. You can see the lines. You even have the sort of scar on his chin. It is sculpted into the neck here, but sadly it hasn't been painted very noticeably on mine. But that's all right. It's not nothing to complain about. Also on his wrists, you know, he's got the metal rod here, as well as the scars and stitch marks where he's been put together. He has the dark fingernails. You can see there, if it'll focus. It won't focus for me. There we are, yeah. And all those different details, like the little creases in the fingers and the veins, absolutely fantastic. And even on his neck, you've got, you know, you can see the little creases on the neck, the Adam's apple, the bolts which go in through these very, like, gruesome looking flesh wounds, you know. And even the clothing, like, look, you see how it has a texture? It really does feel like, you know, it has a texture. You've got only the one button is attached, which is something I've just noticed. You've got his pockets, creases on the back. Same on the trousers, you've got all the creases and the texture, which continues right the way down to the boots. The boots have been given this sort of lighter grey brushing, which really highlights those details. And then on the bottom, you've got the legal stuff, but it's barely noticeable, which I like. He does have peg holes, so if you do want to put him in a more sort of walking stance on one leg, you know, one leg forward, you can do that, which is always great. I do need to buy me some NECA stands, actually. And yeah, just that expression, like, that is Boris Karloff. That's him. You know, you can't mistake that. And then we'll just bring in his other two head sculpts. Yeah, I have to put him at the back a bit. So we have head sculpt number 2, where he's laughing. He does look really derpy, actually. That's really funny. But still fantastic. Just continues that detail. I love the creases in the face, where you can see he's smiling. And the teeth and the tongue. And the tongues have actually been plugged in. So I don't know if you can see that at the back there, where the 2 is. Yeah, so the tongues are actually separate pieces that when the head sculpts come out, they plug them in there. And yeah, so it does look like a 3-dimensional tongue, which is very, very cool, very nice. Attention to detail. And then we have head sculpt number 3, which I really like. You can see all the teeth. I think this is meant to be an angry head sculpt, but it doesn't come across as that. It almost looks like he's laughing. So that's a shame, because I think this is meant to be the sculpt where he gets mad and he's attacking people, you know, so. But still, fantastic work. And as you can see, both of the head sculpts still have that kind of scar under them and on the head. Seems very deep on this one. Very cool. And if you want to swap the head sculpts out, pops off very easily, even though it's a ball joint, which, you know, a lot of people prefer the pegs. I do as well. But you can pop on that head sculpt, have him laughing, and it's very nice. So for accessories, he does come with the little flowers from that very traumatizing scene. I won't spoil it. It could have been painted a little better. I do feel as though the grey flower centre, please focus, has just kind of been splodged on, especially noticeable on this one here. Like, it hasn't quite taken up the full centre, but not a big deal, to be honest. He does have sculpted hands that are, get that, oh look, he's grabbed the chain. Oh, there we go. He does have sculpted hands that are specifically sculpted to hold the flowers. Now, I actually haven't tried this yet. If you want to swap out the hands, they pop out very easily. You just twist them out until you hear that pop, and then just pop the other hand in. And they pop in with ease as well, guys. You know, usually you'd have to heat them because you'd risk breaking them, but no, these pop out very easily. They feel very nice and sturdy, which I really like. Just pop that in. And, yeah. You just take your itty-bitty little flower and just squeeze it in between his fingers and thumb there. And I am amazed I have just done that on my first go. And then the other flowers, I'm sure you can always just pop into this hand right here. Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I really, really do love that. And then another thing that's so I'm definitely going to keep these in the box because I think I'll lose them if I don't, unless I want to display them with him. So pull those off. I might edit these bits out, you know, just to make this go a bit faster, because no one likes to see someone struggling to pop hands off. But he does come with the shackles, which are, these bits are plastic, here the cuffs, but the chain is a real chain, which is awesome. And it's been given that sort of black and white treatment, which is very cool. You just slot them on the wrists, very simple to do. And then we're going to take his monster grabbing hands, you know, like he's reaching out, really like these ones, like, so then we can very gently pop those on over the top. Put the shackles on, and then I think we'll put his angry head sculpt on. Pops on with ease, that one. So, like I say, I think it's meant to be his angry head sculpt, but I think it just comes across as though he's laughing, which is quite funny. But yeah, then, oh, look at that. He just reaches, the The shackles just kind of go up and down the wrist, so you can have them close to the hands or further back. It's really up to you. But yeah. Oh, that is amazing. Like, that's my preferred way to display him, with the shackles on, because I just think it adds a whole new thing to the figure. I'm not going to lie, though, I would go with my favourite head sculpt, which is this, because I just think it looks so much like him. So we'll pop that back on. Pops on with ease. You know, just be very careful of the bolts, guys, when you're popping the heads off, because, you know, I do worry that they might chip off. But they've been good so far. Just be careful. Yeah. I absolutely love this figure, guys. I'm not going to lie. Even though Frankenstein is something I've only seen recently, I think in terms of a figure, I think this is my new favourite from NECA. It's absolutely brilliant. I am going to give this figure, guys, 10 out of 10. 5-star, gold stamp seal of approval. You must get it. You must get it. If you're even a casual fan of Universal Monsters, you have to get it. I love him so much, I am going to try and pick up the colour version as well. It's NECA's best figure that they've ever made. I'm going there, guys. I'm saying it. It is the best figure NECA have ever made. And I can't wait to get the Boris Karloff Mummy and the Wolfman, because I am loving these Universal Monsters that they're bringing out. So, overall, guys, that's my review. So, tried something different today, you know, tried not to be so edited. I might edit some of those bits out where I'm clipping on the hands, but, you know, we'll see. So let me know what you thought of this video, guys. Do you like watching me unbox it, or would you just prefer me to, you know, stick to editing it out so that this video can be, I suppose, over and done with as quickly as possible, because I know I have an irritating voice. But I absolutely love this figure. Highly recommend you pick him up wherever you can. He's definitely worth the money. I paid $29.99 for him because he was on sale. I think don't pay, well, I'm going to say don't pay, but, you know, usually he's about $34.99. Don't pay like 50 quid, you know. There's a place I'm sure you'll be able to find him cheaper, but that is really up to you guys. But all I will say is that as of now, you know, get him while you can before he goes on the secondary market. But even then, he'd be worth every penny because he's absolutely brilliant and I love him. 10 out of 10. So glad I watched the film. I appreciate this figure more. When I do get the colour version, I will do a comparison. But from what I've seen, I think I do actually prefer the black and white version. That's just my personal preference, but hey, that could change when I have the colour version. So thanks ever so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to join the Warren. Stay safe and happy wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. It's alive.